is Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we're having a Super Bowl party. We're making ham and Swiss sliders, loaded baked potato soup, bacon cheeseburger dip, super wings, and black and whites. So I'm going to start and get the chicken wings in the oven. We have 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and the instructions actually say to toss it in a bag. I actually find it easier to toss everything in a bowl and then spread it out on a cookie sheet, so I'm going to deviate from the recipe right there a little bit. 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 cloves of garlic, if you have the garlic in the jar, that will work. Okay, to this I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of chili powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, and a 1/4 cup of chicken wing sauce. I'm using circus wing sauce. You can use whatever you have, or if you have a favorite. This is made in Aberdeen at the circus in downtown Aberdeen, and it's a good wing sauce. So stir your mixture all together. Now we're going to add a little salt and pepper just to taste. I'm going to do about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, because the chili powder is already going to give it some heat, as well as the sauce. I have 3 pounds of chicken wings that I bought the regular ones in the store, and I've snipped the end of the wing off, and I've divided the chicken wing then in 2 pieces. So this is 3 pounds. I'm going to toss it in there. Make sure you get it all coated. Transfer it to a baking sheet. I've preheated the oven to 375. Spread them out evenly so they don't overlap. You can double this recipe or whatever. Triple it depending on how big of a crowd you're going to have. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll get this in the oven 1 hour at 375. I'll be right back.
Blazing fast broadband internet from Valley is now available and better than ever. Let us help you decide which speed is best for you. The 50 meg speed would be sufficient for 1 to 4 devices, mainly emailing and surfing the web. Our 100 meg speed works great for 5 to 8 devices and multiple users streaming and downloading video. If you have 8 devices or more that are simultaneously streaming or gaming, or if you have a medium-sized business, the 250 meg speed would work best for you. For extreme heavy home or work from home use, or if you have a medium to large business using 15 or more devices, you may want to consider our 500 meg download speed to fit your needs. And if you're a home or business that needs it all, we have our 1000 meg 1 gig broadband internet speed. Call our office today at 437-2615 and talk with one of our staff members to pick the speed that's best for you.
Okay, we're going to work on the sliders now. I have 2 packages of King's Hawaiian Sweet rolls. They look like this. And Ken's usually carries them. You can find them there. If you can't find these, you can always use like Sweetheart dinner rolls or something like that. So what you want to do, I'm just going to set one aside here, is slice them in half like this. So just kind of do your thing. Try to use a bread knife. Maybe that'll work a little better. Okay, so you take the bottom and you put it in your 9x13 pan. We can actually get them both in there, one pan. Do that to the other one. There's so many good slider recipes out there. You can make cheeseburger sliders or Philly cheesesteak ones, whatever, but these are quick and easy. Everybody likes them. I'm gonna just compress it a little bit so I can get the whole thing in there. There we go. Looks like that. Okay, so then I have a pound of deli sliced ham and that we're going to layer on here. Another thing about these is you can make them up in advance and you can even freeze them. You don't want to put we're going to mix up a little bit of a topping for them. I would wait and put the topping on till you're actually going to be baking them, but sometimes if you've got company coming or something, you want to make things in advance so that you can enjoy yourself and not spend all your time in the kitchen. This is an option for you. I'm just kind of ripping a little bit of the fat off just so that we don't have, a little bit is good. We don't need a lot. Okay, over the top of this, I'm going to put slices of Swiss cheese. I think that's pretty even. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to do it as evenly as possible. Sometimes I have trouble getting these open, especially when my hands are a little bit wet, so we're just going to cut it. So it looks like that. Then you place the tops on it. We're going to mix up a little bit of a concoction to spread over the top, and we're starting with a half cup of butter that I've melted. Got the poppy seed, tablespoon. You could use a little less if you want to. Sometimes a little bit of poppy seed goes a long ways. And then just do a hair under a tablespoon. 1.5 teaspoons of Worcestershire. One and a half teaspoons of brown mustard or Dijon. I'm using Dijon mustard. One teaspoon of onion powder. Mix that together. We're going to pour that over the top. I'm going to kind of help myself with a basting brush. Okay, we're going to cover that with foil, let it sit for about half an hour, and then we're going to bake it for half an hour. So I'm going to take a little break while we clean this up. We'll be right back. Okay, I've done a little prep work ahead of time on the loaded baked potato soup. Right now I have 2 tablespoons of bacon grease. I've fried and crumbled my bacon already. So in 2 tablespoons of the bacon grease, I'm going to cook reduce that heat a little bit. I'm going to cook 1.5 cups of chopped onion. You can use yellow or white or whatever you have. I'm using yellow. And you want to get it just so it's tender. You don't want it to caramelize. And then in my soup kettle, I've already boiled 2 pounds of potatoes that I have cut into just a little bigger than cubes. These are 2 pounds of baking potatoes. So you can use white potatoes, either one works, or red potatoes, either one works. If you have one, you easily can substitute. It'll be just fine. It'll taste great. But because this is called loaded baked potato soup, what they use for loaded baked potatoes is russet baking potatoes. So that's why the recipe calls for that, but you can use red, substitute those without a problem. So in my soup kettle now, I have 2/3 cup of butter that I'm melting down. And as soon as that's melted, I'm going to stir in 3/4 cup of flour. Keep this going. I've tried a lot of soups like this, the loaded baked potato or the mashed potato soups or that kind of stuff, and on a show a few years ago here I had a potato soup recipe which was a favorite of our families, but this adds another dimension to it because it uses the cheese in the soup, it uses ham, it uses bacon, it uses all the kinds of toppings that you would use on a loaded baked potato. So the sour cream and everything gives it a whole nother dimension. So it's a fun soup to serve for a group of people, and so I thought with doing a Super Bowl kind of a theme, which is coming up here in a week or so, that this might be a fun one for you to make. If you want a copy of any of these recipes that we're making today, if you don't have internet, give the girls at Valley a call. They'll be happy to help you with a copy of any of the recipes or all of them. If you do have internet, you can go to the Valley homepage, www.valleytel.net. Click on the Country Cookin' Cow, you'll find all the recipes there. Okay, I'm just about ready to add the flour here. I'm going to whisk that in and let it cook just about a minute just so it doesn't have that floury taste. Reduce my heat a little bit. To this roux, I'm going to start with 2 cups of milk. See how that stirs in. You want to mix it in real good so that you don't have lumps of flour anywhere. going to add the potatoes. And I'm going to stir in the other 2 cups of milk. Okay, we're going to add a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. I have a new pepper grinder, as you can see. Looks pretty good. Sure saves on my wrists. Okay, to this now I'm going to add, I bought a packet of diced ham. You can find that in the grocery store, in the meat and cheese area. Toss that in. And kind of break that up. It's a little bit clumpy. I have 12 ounces of bacon that I have fried and crumbled, and I'm going to reserve just a little bit of that so that people can add a little more, sprinkle it on top when they help themselves. I have 2.5 cups of grated cheddar cheese. And you're going to reserve just a little bit, about 1/2 cup, so people can, there again, can add what they want. I'm going to add 4 cups of chicken broth. That's a box. If you find that your soup is just a little bit too thick, you can always add another cup of chicken broth or something. But this consistency works pretty well for us. Okay, we're going to add sour cream, 8 ounces. And now you want to stir everything in real well so that there's no clumps of anything. And then we're going to reduce it to low and let everything kind of combine. Okay, I have a 3/4 cup of green onions, including the tops. I'm going to toss those in. I'm going to reserve about a 1/4 cup there again for people to add for themselves. Makes a nice big kettle of soup. I'm going to let that simmer for a while. We're going to clean this up. We'll be right back and we'll get working on the dip.
Valley is now offering updated digital TV packages and prices. Call Valley today at 437-2615.
Okay, we're working on the bacon cheeseburger dip now. I have a pound of ground beef, or a half pound of ground beef that I have browned in bacon grease and then I tossed in an onion, and it's just about all cooked up. So now to that, I'm going to stir in the rest of the ingredients. I have an 8-ounce cream cheese that I have softened. I'm going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder. A little bit of kosher salt. I have 1.5 cups of shredded Monterey Jack and cheddar. You can buy it in the block where it's mixed. I have them separate, but we're going to melt that in. We need some freshly ground black pepper. Need a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Okay, stir that in and get it melting. This isn't a beautiful looking dip, but it's definitely a tasty dip because it's kind of, you know, with the cheeses melted and the cream cheese and everything, it tends to be kind of white. But if you like cheeseburgers, and then the fun thing is that it's served with potato chips instead of crackers or something else, so you kind of get the whole cheeseburger and potato chip deal. Okay, and then I have the bacon. I have 6 slices of bacon that I fried and crumbled. I'm going to add that to it. And when it's all melted and blended, we're going to transfer it to a baking dish. And you can actually, if you're putting it out for a Super Bowl or something like that, where people are going to kind of be eating all through the game, you can put it in a crock pot on low and just keep it warm. We're going to put it in a dish, and it only takes about 15 minutes because everything's hot and blended here. I'm going to transfer it to a oven-proof baking dish. In the meantime, I popped the sliders in the oven, so everything should be ready in just a few minutes here. We're going to get started on the cookies. Be right back. Okay, we're going to work on the black and whites. I'm going to combine the dry ingredients first. I have all-purpose flour, 2 1/4 cup. Then I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking soda. a half cup of unsweetened baking cocoa, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, okay, I'm going to take a whisk and combine those. Okay, in a large bowl, I am going to put 1 cup of firmly packed dark brown sugar, 3/4 cup of white granulated sugar, need a spatula. I should actually have my utensils right here. I've got a cup of salted butter, to that I'm going to add 3 large eggs, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm using pure vanilla extract. You can use imitation if you want. And since these cookies will be dark, I'm using the colored vanilla. If you want to use the imitation vanilla that's clear, that's fine too. I'm going to toss in the flour mixture. Okay, you mix it just till it's combined. You don't want to overmix. I have a little bit on the edge here I want to get. Now I have a cup of coarsely chopped, good quality white chocolate. So it looks like this, so there's going to be bigger chunks, smaller chunks. Same thing with, I have 1 cup of semi-sweet in a large baking bar that you can find in your section where you find all your chocolate chips and everything. You just buy the bar, unless you can also, they do make the semi-sweet in a chunk, but I have not seen the white chocolate in a chunk, so you definitely would have to buy that in a bar. I've been to a lot of Super Bowl parties where I've made all kinds of fancy things and really interesting things, but if they don't have chocolate, the guys don't want it. So do yourself a favor and make something with chocolate. This gets it in 3 ways. It's got white chocolate, dark chocolate, and the chocolate cookie. So this is always a good one. So I use a cookie dropper so that they're kind of uniform, and you want to have them about 2 inches apart. I preheated my oven to 300. They take about anywhere from 18 to 22 minutes to bake, just depending on how hot your oven is. I'm going to take a break while I fill the other cookie sheets. We'll be right back.
Internet is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds. All on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
Okay, we have our ham and Swiss sliders, our loaded baked potato soup. Dish some here. And we're going to serve this on the side in case somebody wants to add a little bit of garnish to that. And we've got our bacon cheeseburger dip. Serve that there with some potato chips on the side. Chicken wings. And the chicken wings we're going to serve with ranch dressing and with a little more wing sauce on the side, and we're all set. Thank you for joining us today on this edition of Country Cookin'. We hope to see you next time.